Good morning and welcome to this morning's Top Story. Happy Monday. We are so excited to talk to somebody who's involved in a lot of positive things that have happened at the Sault Area Hospital. We're going to talk about some specifics. One of the not great things, though, I have to say, is the fact that our CEO with Sault Area Hospital, Ron Gagnon, is leaving the hospital. So we're going to talk to him right now and see, where the heck are you going? Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And welcome to Top Story. Where are you headed?
So I'm heading to the Grand River Hospital in Waterloo, and it's an exciting opportunity. It's a hospital that's about double the size of ours. And,
Oh, really?
and a growing community, and some interesting challenges there, and some challenges that are going to feel, I think, a little similar to what I've been through here. So.
Do you really? In what ways do you think it'll be similar?
Well,
I think in Southern Ontario we assume, things are better down there.
Yeah, but they also have an aging population. It's not the same age as ours, but alternate level of care is definitely something that's impacting their hospital and impacting hospitals across the province. Financial challenges across the province. And those are things that are not unfamiliar here as well. But even with that, like here, there's a lot of great people there that I'm really looking forward to working with.
Now, have you been working in hospitals for like your whole career, or is this something new for you?
No, when I moved back to the Sault back in 2001, that was the first time in healthcare. Before that, I was actually in water and wastewater of all things. I was the vice president of operations with a large water and wastewater company. And came to healthcare because of an experience that I had and my family had with my mom when she was battling breast cancer. And I tell this story every month with our new orientation, our new employees, and it's a pretty powerful why. Wanting to have in whatever way you can an impact on people's lives, and that's what happens inside those walls every day. So. Would
you have liked to have changed the situation for your mom? Is that why you decided to get into healthcare?
Well, it was actually the opposite. It was actually seeing the compassion, the caring, and how they actually touched my mom's life and my life, and in particular a conversation I had with a palliative care nurse.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
I love stories like that because we hear, unfortunately, so many negative stories about the wait times and going to emerge and, not having a bed and all those issues that are absolutely valid. But it's lovely to hear stories like that are positive.
Yeah, and one of the benefits that I have of my role is I get to see and hear those positive stories as well as the negative ones. I don't just hear the negative ones. And although I and the rest of the senior team there read every complaint that comes into the organization, we also get the opportunity to read the compliments, and those are really uplifting. And I think they're a great tribute to the people that are there. Right?
I think that's a huge point to make because staff can make or break, I believe. And from my experience, as though it's been a very small experience, absolutely lovely.
They are.
Just such an awesome, dedicated staff.
Yeah. I think as a community we're blessed. As a CEO, I've been blessed to have great staff, great senior leadership, and I'm looking forward to hopefully having the same experience where I'm going, and leave here very proud and very proud of the people and very fortunate. I feel very fortunate with the people I've been able to work with.
How
at
long
all
have
levels.
you been here?
So,
or at the Sault Area Hospital?
I joined in 2001. I joined as the Vice President of Finance at the time, and then was asked to be the interim CEO in 2006. And then the board went through a recruitment, and then in 2007 was asked to be...
Apparently you're doing something right, Ron.
Well,
it's been a few years.
Hopefully doing enough right. Hopefully doing enough right. And, as I said, I've been blessed to work with great people, and they do a lot of things really, really well. And probably the best thing I can do is stay out of the way a lot of times.
As CEO, speaking of staying out of the way, as CEO, how much of it do you oversee? For instance, are you involved with, all the way down from the volunteers to hiring nurses, specialists, that sort of thing? Or are you sort of just administrative and financial?
So I'm accountable for the entire operation of the hospital as the CEO. Do I get involved in hiring nurses? Absolutely not. There's people that are way better qualified than I am.
Right.
Part of my role is finding great people to be senior leaders that will set up the right systems in the hospital to do that.
Now, did you ever find that it was a challenge because We're a smaller hospital. We live in Northern Ontario. I don't know how political your position would have been with regards to funding and that sort of thing.
Well, a big part of what people don't see in a CEO's life is actually that, is a lot of conversations with either politicians or senior ministry bureaucrats or people at the local health integration network. And it's making sure that our story gets heard. So, there are sometimes it's very challenging when you're isolated. And one of the reasons that we really drove hard to bring cardiac stenting to Sault Ste. Marie was exactly that. Like radiation therapy, when we opened the doors in our new facility, right? And that was an experience that my family and my mom had, of having to go to Sudbury to get radiation therapy. Now there's 400 families a year don't have to go through that, and that's fantastic. And soon it will be the same thing for people with cardiac angioplasty. They won't have to wait for a plane or a helicopter to get a life-changing treatment.
And, it's got to be phenomenally rewarding when you think back to things like that. I wanted to specifically talk about the cardiac unit. This is huge for people in Sault Ste. Marie.
Well, I think it'll be big, and what I'm proud of is the people, again, the people that made it happen, right? So I play a part in that, absolutely, but it's, our frontline staff and physicians have been phenomenal. They've done everything they could do from an advocacy standpoint, and then from getting the training, being in Toronto, working with experts at St. Mike's, getting that training, coming back and applying their skills, and just doing a fantastic job.
There's that staff dedication thing again, right?
Yeah, it's, any organization is the same, and especially in healthcare, where it's really about people. Having great people makes all the difference in the world.
Now, you talked about radiation, the unit there, and cardiac coming, and those are such wonderful stories. Is there anything that you feel like you're leaving? Gee, I wish I had just another minute to get that done.
Well, I think that as a system, so this applies in the Soo and applies outside of the Soo, I think we still have more to do to behave as one system for patients. I think it's still too many stops along the way. And it always makes me sad when I hear stories of people having to come to the emerge because they can't access the right part of the system, or people having to wait in hospital longer because they can't access the right long-term care or home care or whatever it is, or people having to come back to the hospital because they couldn't access their primary care physician in a timely way. So I think in Sault Ste. Marie and as a system, we can still do a better job there. And that would probably be the biggest thing I'd want to see happen.
Now, is that something that you can start anew and considering your next job?
Well, I think all of us can. Everybody who's a leader in the system can drive towards it, making it feel like one system for everybody that's there. So absolutely something that I'll be looking at working with the partners down there on. And my hope is whoever follows me will do the exact same thing here. There have been some small wins here, but I think there's more to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's probably a common sense, fresh approach to coming to that job with. There's always something to learn and something new to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think if any of us think we have nothing left to learn, then we're probably kidding ourselves, or we're in the wrong spot.
Or we're just too darn stubborn. Now, with regards to the position, because obviously we're going to, try and find somebody to fill your boots. We're going to do our best. How does that work? Is it a board of directors decision?
Yes, it's a board of directors decision. So they will undertake a search, and they'll probably have some expertise helping them do that. People that are in this business, and they'll go through a process and select their preferred candidate. In the interim, they'll probably appoint an interim person to be in that role to fill the gap between when I leave and when a permanent person is hired. And I have no illusions that my shoes will be filled, and it'll be fresh ideas into the role, which is good. This is my hometown, and I really want to make sure that, and I'll be watching to make sure that we have a great hospital system.
Well, your hometown is going to definitely miss you, as is the local hospital. Thank you so much for coming, and best of luck to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm sure you will just be successful beyond bounds.
I appreciate you
Congratulations
saying
again.
that. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks.
We'll take this break. More news on Top Story coming up.